to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about PM habits. See, everyone talks about morning habits, these morning routines, these gold standards that everyone's have. And if I look at the majority of habit book morning routines, literally there are thousands of books and documents centered around this. Even as I'm here speaking, there's simply a fog of how long I operated without a specific morning routine, but yet in a crazy way, I've had one all my life. And then, believe it or not, when I look at this, is like we do actually have evening routines. We do actually have these evening habits. We just may be unconscious to them. And if I'm honest or just direct in telling you this, like I've had an unconscious evening and evening routine, evening set of habits. And because these habits become ingrained in us, we become unconscious to them. So today we're going to be talking about how to actually begin these PM habits or these evening routines that actually get us to what we actually want. You see, creating a routine at night is one of the most powerful things you can do, because the purpose of nighttime habits is to finish your day, and not only finish your day, but to begin and prepare for the next. And so as we look at this, I want you to ask yourself this question: why does a nighttime routine or nighttime set of habits really matter to you? Like, why does this even matter to you? Well, here's what I came up with is the two most important parts of the day are when we wake up and when we actually go to bed. And I want you to kind of think of this as if you imagined a plane, the most important part of your plane ride is takeoff and landing. So if we already have the takeoff down, takeoff would actually be our morning set of habits, our morning set of routines. Then the most important part after that, and maybe even before that, is the landing. But if we don't take off, then the landing doesn't really matter. But landing is the spot that we have forgot about. Landing is the spot that we have become unconscious to. So imagine if a pilot became unconscious to landing. Well, the plane would either run out of gas, eventually we may end up crashing, or maybe he fell asleep. And so if he fell asleep, then who's in control of the actual landing? So I want you to think about this, is who's responsible for your landing? Who's responsible for you landing your plane every single day? And sometimes if we're unconscious to this, then we are a victim to that. We are a victim to the landing of life and how we actually land our plane. And so I want you to think of this also using sports. How often have you heard in sports, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Think about this. I've literally watched so many people be committed in sports, in workouts, in running to the start, but not to the finish. Like, it's easy to be committed to the start. It's easy to be committed to the first part of your race, to the first part of a 12-week challenge, to the first part of the 30-day challenge. And then you slowly start watching people drop off. They slowly start drifting one by one. Whenever I would race, I would always have this mindset that I was never going to get past in the second half of the race, no matter what it was, whether it was a 5K, 7K, 10K, 12K. And I would pick people off one by one. Even when I ran track, The most important part of the race was always the finish. It wasn't the start. And yes, it's important to get out of the blocks, but I always made a commitment to finish strong. Watch a horse race, and oftentimes you see the horse that comes out of the gate first isn't the one winning the race. Very rarely is it the one winning the race. So what can we learn from this? Let's just imagine you have your takeoff down. Now it's time for you to actually get the landing, to get this landing down into a way that you become conscious to this. And the landing, it happens to be the place where we actually end up in bed. You see, we've been taught so much to put everything into our morning habits, from waking up early to getting our to-do list done of all the things that we're supposed to get done for the day. We have really lost purpose and lost track of the purpose of all of these habits. And I will be honest with you, I've lost track of this as well. You see, over the last 8 to 9 months, I've even lost track of my morning habits. It's turned into a bigger and bigger to-do list. And as part of doing this, my brain is even there resisting change. My brain is simply resisting change, like just developing different set of morning habits, developing these PM habits, because I've become so ingrained to things like checking my phone at night. I've become so ingrained to paying attention to social media as the last thing that I do every night. And so about 4 or 5 months ago, I began to change. I began to change my evening routine because I started to notice something. If the last thing I put into my mind every single night was what was on social media, what was happening around me, I was focused on this blue screen, I was giving away my energy to this phone, to this social media. And what it would do is it affect how I showed up when I woke up in the morning. And so I'm going to give you an opportunity to reset what you're doing at night to where we become conscious to what we're doing every single evening. And I truly believe if you're here listening to this podcast, you may have already established a great morning routine. You've maybe already established some things that you are very aware of in the morning. But what hasn't been established is a set, conscious routine of habits in the evening. And today we're going to begin doing this by constructing 4 small habits that you can begin doing every single night. And the goal is to keep this between 10 and 20 minutes. And here's why. In the beginning, if you do not keep this simple enough, what'll end up happening is you'll do it once or twice and then you'll be like, I don't have time to do this. But one of the very first things that I want you to begin to do is this. Simply just putting your phone into airplane mode. By you simply putting your phone into airplane mode about 30 minutes before you're going to actually go to bed. So if you're going to go to bed at 10, at 9:30, you put your phone in airplane mode and you just set it down either on the other side of the room, out of the room, or you can also set it down. I usually try to do at least 4 to 5 feet away from where I sleep. But doing this will eliminate you wanting to get on social media and check anything and give your energy away. The next thing that I do is once I've done that, I do some heart rate variability breathing. You can also do some type of meditation, but this is an opportunity for you to kind of reflect just on your day. Maybe you want to do a body scan. If you're not quite sure what a body scan is, it's just getting in tune with your body. But the HRV breathing technique is whatever I breathe in, I'm going to breathe out longer. So it may be like 3 seconds in, 5 seconds out. It may be 5 seconds in, breathing 7 seconds out. And when you do this, you want to make sure when you breathe in, you're breathing in through your nose, You want to make sure when you're breathing out through your mouth. So either a 3 and 5, 3 seconds in, 5 seconds out, or a 5 and 7. You can do this for 2 minutes. So if I did 5 and 7, it's literally 12 breaths because each breath takes about 12 seconds. So if I do that 5 times, that's 60 seconds. That would be 2 minutes of that. You can also become aware of anything happening in your body while you're doing that. The thing I like about breathing is breathing creates awareness. It brings us back to just being present. If you've never done it, it has a very calming effect. You can do that literally anytime you want, but I like doing this before I go to bed at night. It's one of my go-to, and it's one of the first things I started doing. Now, if we're talking about maybe fuel, some people like tea, some non-caffeinated tea, or even taking a supplement. One of the things that I like is using the Organifi Gold Milk. I also do a bulletproof, or may do a bulletproof tea. But those two things seem to have a calming effect. I also like to use magnesium and L-theanine for sleep. These both help with sleep. I end up usually taking both of those every single night, and they seem to help quite a bit. Whatever you want to do, whether it's tea or supplements, test it and see what works for you. Then we get into some physical stuff. So you could either do a couple stretches, you could do some mobility work, or maybe you want to do some foam rolling. And the purpose of this, and I want you to understand this, is to keep this part under 2 minutes. The reason why is because at 2 minutes, you can literally say, listen, I can do anything for 2 minutes. So starting there for 2 minutes just on this one thing, picking a stretch, doing some foam rolling. Maybe you do your legs one night, you do your upper body another night. But it's super important for you to continue to do this. Now, the last part of this and the final thing is to pick a book up. Simply start reading for 2 minutes. Now, you could obviously do more or you could do less. But the most important thing is that you begin doing this. I would start first off with 2 minutes. The reason why is because I can build on this. So once you have finished with this, you're going to start tracking. The goal is for you to go 5 consecutive days. And you can do all of this within 10 minutes. If you pick 4 things, you're doing around 2 to 3 minutes per thing. After 5 consecutive days of doing this, your option is to begin to double it. So we can go to 4 minutes, or some things you can still keep at 2 minutes, and other things you can go to 4 minutes. But I want you to look at the important impact that this is going to make. You are now setting yourself up for landing, almost like bringing the landing gear out. You're getting prepared. You're doing all these things. And these are 4 simple things. What kicks it all off? Maybe you brushing your teeth. Maybe you taking a shower. There's a lot of other things you can add to this. You could add a cold shower. You could add, brushing your teeth. You can add some red light therapy, whatever it is. But what I've found is these are the simplest things to begin doing it. And maybe the number one thing that supports all of this and kicks it all off is either you taking a cold shower, you shutting down your phone 30 minutes prior, or you brushing your teeth. And all these things begin to kick off your PM habits and your nighttime routine. So give this a try, 5 consecutive days, and then you're able to bump up the time. Within literally a 2 to 3 week period, you will now have a complete routine and system, and you can begin to see what's working or not working and maybe shift some things in there. Thank you for being on here today. I look forward to hearing from you and how this is actually impacting you. If you're looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself, so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook. This is where I'll be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. Maybe you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. You can also check out my website, JESSEEWELL.com or habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.